In what ways does your product use, develop or challenge codes and conventions of real media products? This means, how does your product stick to the codes and conventions of chosen genre? Well, in our final sequence, we stuck to the media conventions of a spoof sport action film.
It's kind of comedy as well.
That's what spoof is.
Yeah, well.
Carry on.
Which is...
Yeah, we
Just carry on.
basically fast-paced music and like energetic, inspirational music.
Well, we stuck to our main conventions by we included funny things for the spoof stuff, like even like the serious bit at this beginning. It's them going in with like really serious music and really serious quotes, and then we end up in the toilet. The funny bit about that is not that you end up in the toilet. That's a pretty funny situation to be in. The funny bit is that you don't expect to end up in the toilet. It's a sport because
Obviously, Rocky is boxing.
yeah, he's trained to be a boxer. There's all these different, sport things in there.
But the audience
Like
doesn't
the
actually see
skipping
that.
and all this other stuff, and he's running and stuff. He's obviously trained to be sport, and there's a punch bag and stuff like that in it. And then
obvious and
it's an
stuff.
action because there's lots happening. It's quick.
Yeah, we've got the serious music at the start though.
The pace
Piano,
is quite
the
fast
pace,
because
yeah.
it's done. It relates to like England stuff, where it's obviously film because we're English. We have stuff like the Union Jack on the wall in the
the end.
background, and on the Macky title. Well, that was really good. That was only a final decision we made when it came to editing this week.
And we got told that it looked good because it fitted in.
Yeah. Also, we found that sport is very serious, and we wanted the spoof element in there as well. What is he playing? Well, we wanted the spoof and the seriousness of the sport in. So, at the beginning, when it's lots of serious music and quotes, when it's lots of serious music and quotes, and then we also have the toilet scene. It's kind of
All fits
complements
together.
each other, doesn't it? It makes it
together.
kind of
Makes
funnier
sense.
because it's trying to be serious at the same time. Okay.
Flag on the bedroom wall also is a Union Jack.
So who's in your film and how have you represented them? Okay, so basically ours is like an older teenager sort of boy, and he doesn't really fit the normal narrative structure of stereotypes of a chav or a sport person sort of thing, because he's really serious. Whereas the teenagers we know nowadays going out drinking and everything else.
Wearing tracksuit bottoms, then they're
Yeah.
stereotyped as a chav.
Yeah,
basically.
whereas now, we're this person, he's really serious about his sport, he gets up in the morning, he's morninger, going on.
So the audience knows basically straight away that it is he is training to be a boxer and that he isn't really a chav.
Yeah,
so the
so
audience realises.
it doesn't fit normal
No, so we have challenged it
stereotypes
really.
and stuff of it. We challenged normal social group sort of things. It's a bit different from everyone else. It's not the usual stuff, so I think it's a bit more difficult really. What kind of media institution might just distribute your product and why? Would Film for Working Title Universe be a good choice for promoting your film?
I would have thought cinema, but in England, in the cinema in England, because it's got the Union Jack and that's English. Because it's not really that. It's not. I don't know.
It's not a TV drama at all.
No.
It's not one of those films you can split into. It's not like. It's not like one of those 3-part series. It's not one of those types of things.
It's a one-off, really. You wouldn't want to see. You probably wouldn't want to see it again.
Which is quite funny because the Rocky films, how many films did they make? And this is not one of those films that has a sequence coming up. It's one film. One of those big. I don't know. I think every producer, director, and someone who makes a film with their idea wants it to be a really big hit. But I don't think our film. It would be.
It'd have a small, concise audience, I think. And
I know that's probably not what you normally go for, but I think
the people that do watch it will like it.
Because the audience that go for our sort of film, it's it's not a huge audience, really, is it? To be fair,
Because it's sport, not everyone's interested in that, but it's not just about sport, it's funny as well.
Yeah, so you know, you'd never see it until you really know. Okay, what would be the audience for your product and why?
Will it be for girls and boys and adults,
Yeah,
but aged about?
Well, the spoof, we say it's a spoof sort of thing, so it's funny.
Yeah.
It'd be late teen, well, it'd be teens plus.
To
It's
adults,
not
yeah.
got an age, probably about 12,
Yeah.
to 18 on it.
Only because it's the younger
It's
people.
got no, you know,
Well, younger
exposure
people,
of
yeah.
any kind, of violence or nudity or anything like that.
But just under
it
12-year-olds
does,
might
it
not
has
enjoy
chest
it.
violence, different. Yeah, I think, like with the seriousness of the beginning, it's not a film that you could have for someone like of a certain age because they wouldn't understand it, I don't think. So yeah, a certain age, of course. People that like sport, people that like comedies, people that watch Rocky might be attracted to it because obviously it's kind of like a remake sort of thing from that, but funny. Obviously they go and watch it because they're enthusiastic of Rocky. How do you address your audience?
Well,
We have addressed the audience by making the character be in like normal surroundings, things that people can associate with. He's a normal person from normal surroundings sort of thing. He's from England, he dresses the way normal English kids do, he speaks English, you know,
also
that
I
sort
think
of thing.
the
That people
sound.
can relate to that, so
Sound played a good part as well. How he used the liveliness of the second song to make the audience want to listen on and watch on, really.
yeah. And I think the humour is quite based around most people as well. It's not something that you can
Get away from.
Yeah,
Everyone will.
I don't think so. I think it's more like the sort of humour everyone kind of has to laugh at because it's not like too. It's not like dark humour that only some people find funny or that sort of thing. It's very all-round humour. I don't know if that's actually a phrase you could probably use. However, I think that it's that sort of funniness that everyone has to laugh at. So that attracts the audience because, you know, if someone watches it and go, oh, that's funny, well, then everyone's going to find it funny, aren't they? And I think everyone from our lesson when we played it back, I think there wasn't a single person in the room that didn't laugh at points. You know, we were worried they wouldn't. I think
Because it's quite specialised, but
yeah, because
people do
I
laugh.
think the problem is when you're making a film, you can't tell what everyone's going to laugh at. You can only do it to your sense of humour and hope for the best, really. But I think it worked out very well. Everyone was laughing.
At the
yeah.
points we wanted to, anyway.
Yeah. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product?
But you can't really trust technology all of the time, really.
And what way would you say that?
Well, because, I don't know.
Well, one thing we learned is you need to take a certain amount of takes of each thing to get it right, because I think in certain places and stuff that the editing won't work in the same place, the lighting's different or something like that. You need at least 3 takes from everything you do. I mean, at one time when we were at the stairs scene, when it's the first actual clip in our film, you need to, we filmed that 3 times and not a single one was actually perfect in the end, I think, because we weren't sure about if it was going to represent the right ideals and stuff like that, but I think it worked. So I think that the biggest thing is that you need to film things, like lots of takes and redo it from different angles, different takes. I mean,
And
the
choose
last
the
thing we
best.
did, you know, the one who ran you into the tree, that's got different angles. I mean, the cinematographer of that is really good. I mean, our actor listened to differently. He ran into the tree like about 12 times, I think, to get it right. And even then, it could have probably been better. We could have done more takes on it. It's just one of those things you need to take different angles and always
See which ones work the best and fit together.
We did match on action on the last bit where we had him running to the tree, then different angle, different angle, different angle, then we had the Macky up, and then we had another 2 angles, you know. It's all these different angles and they made it work better. They made it more advanced, modern, more, you know, it's not too simple. We needed a bit more like versatility of like our shots and our angles and stuff, because that was the audience we were, you know, watching it. They were modern and stuff. It's like 21st century and stuff. That's not, you know, when it like some period drama sort of thing. So we needed lots of angles, maybe more edgy, I think. actually, we also learned about the use of the music.
Music.
You need to have the right music and sound to make it fit, because
Sound
obviously
good.
it needs to relate to what it is. I mean, we really like the idea of Sexy and I Know It to the actual working out stuff.
But we couldn't get the copyrights for it, could we? We emailed them, but they didn't.
It's a big company, so I kind of expected that. However, I think it might have been a bit too.
Would have given everyone something to think about, which might have not been related to our film, so it could have drawn people away from it.
Well, it has pros and cons, because in the pros, it could have related to everyone knows that song, everyone knows the words, everyone would be singing to it. We were singing to it every time we listened to the video. However, and it probably would have complemented the fact that we used a very seriousness at the start of the video, and it's all funny and spoofy, and that it would have really worked. However, it could have done that too much. So I think the video we used at the end the song we used at the end was better.
Looking back at our preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from that to the full product? So basically, our prelim task 1 and 2, which we did making the film,
Well,
we did Where's My Shoe and the other one.
Well, what have we learnt since then?
Well, we've learned how to use the equipment
Well, I think
to create
yeah,
better
obviously
sound
there's
quality.
that. We've learned how to use Premiere better, and the cameras, and
How to set up
what's
autosave.
better. Yeah, we've learned from all that. Yeah,
We have learned that.
autosave. Yeah,
So we don't lose our
every
work.
5 minutes.
And we've also learned how to, when we have them speaking and have the sound of them speaking and the music at different levels, we learned how to change the levels of that in order to so you could hear both clearly. Because in our preliminary task we couldn't get that quite right, and it just sounded awful really. And I think we've got that right this time with our film.
I think also we've learned to use Premiere a lot more, because in the beginning we were trying to do really basic stuff, and we could have done it a lot better, but with Premiere we learned to use it a lot better. In the beginning we were really basic, we didn't ask a lot for it, and then we
used
learned
some transitions.
Yeah, we learned that we could do a lot more with it.
Sped
Like,
some shots out,
with the sound
slowed
and stuff.
down.
Like, our first sound was of the quotes. We recorded that separately, and then we got a bit of distortion like we have right now in the background, and we needed to cut that out. So we found that we could do that, and we didn't know we could do that before on the previous video. I think Where's My Shoe? We didn't do that. So yeah, I think in this video, one thing now looking back that we could have improved is that on the comedy element of it, it was a spoof, and I think
Didn't get
we were
much
worried-
in, I think.
We were a bit self-conscious about our comedy, if everyone would like it or not, and they did. We could have used a lot more comedy aspects to it.
Such
that
as
would
on the
have made
toilet
it
at the
better.
start, we could have had someone possibly sitting on the toilet,
yeah, that was
something
a
funny
suggestion.
like that.
I mean,
Just-
we could have gotten away with a lot more, and it would have worked. I mean, that was
And
pretty
him
much
tripping
the
over.
only criticism that we got from the
Tripping
whole
over
video.
from the fence, I think that would have
Oh
been
yeah,
good. Facing.
we could have used a lot more
Yeah.
comedy, like even a bit here, a bit there, that would have worked. That was
I
the
think
only
it still
criticism we
worked,
had.
what we
It
did.
did work. We could have
But it
got
could
away
have made
with
it
a lot
funnier.
more though.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that would probably one of the big things we would have improved on.